So welcome back. Let's gather again. Take a few moments to arrive on the floor now. And let's begin exploring the things we were talking about. So before we begin, because in your first movement, you will need to be able to slide your feet effortlessly. If you are on a sticky mat, you might want to get your feet off the mat and maybe put on your pair of socks. You want to be able to slide your feet on the floor as if you were ice skating, smoothly and easily. So take a few moments to arrive, to lie down on the floor. And what we'll be looking for is the sensation of your spine, and to find the connection from your pelvis to your lower back, your upper back, and your head. The continuity from your tailbone to the top of your head. So as you are lying now, could you think of taking a snapshot of your shape? It's what I like to call a body print. Just as your footsteps leave their prints on the sand as you walk, could you feel the shape of your body print on the floor? The point where your head touches the ground? That particular single point in the back of your head. Can you sense how your vertebrae in your neck are lighter and lift off the floor? And then a bit lower, down your spine. This vertebra where your neck comes down again and meets the ground. Can you feel the weight in your right and your left shoulder blades? Which side is heavier? Which side feels spreading its weight wider? Sense the way your ribs touch the floor. And then your lower back. Can you visualize the print your pelvis is making on the floor? And if visualizing is not clear for you, can you trace your attention around the edges of your shape on the floor? Lower now. The back of your thighs. Do the back of your knees feel lighter? And then your calves and your heels. Can you clearly sense now the print your body is making on the floor? And can you make the image clear in your mind's eye so that you can hold on to it for a while? So that when we do this again later on, you will have a clear, crisp image to compare to. Please bend your knees and stand your feet. Can you feel what changed now that you have your feet bent? Your pelvis is positioned differently. How about your lower back? Does it feel different? Is it lighter or heavier? How about the point in the back of your head? Now very slowly, allow your feet to slide on the floor. See if you gently lift your heels just a bit, making them lighter. You can now allow your feet to slide away softly and quietly in slow motion. And as your knees are extending, your legs elongate back on the floor. Can you feel the movement of your legs changing the shape of your lower back? And then again, you bend your knees, this time keeping your attention clearly in your lower back. And again, you start sliding your feet away in slow motion. Take your time. Do not rush. Observe your body as it changes shape. Enjoy the journey. Keeping your attention to the sensations in your lower back. And when you have finished sliding, bend your knees again. How does the position of the pelvis, the shape of the spine and the back of your head change their contact with the floor as your feet slide away? How does your contact change when your knees are bent and when your legs are long? When your feet are long, your pelvis is positioned in a different way, and the position of the pelvis defines the shape of the spine, the curvatures of the spine. So now the next time you bend your knees, let them stay there. And with your knees bent, could you think of gently lifting your lower back a bit and then pressing it down again on the floor? So you're rolling your pelvis. You're not lifting it. You're just rolling your pelvis a bit forward, bringing the weight towards your tailbone and a bit back. And as you roll your pelvis now forward and back, can you feel how your lower back arches? As you roll your pelvis back, can you feel how your lower back is coming back on the ground? And what we're looking for here are very small and easy and effortless movements. Because what we're interested in doing now is sensing clearly the shape of our spine. Slow and small is the best way if we want to learn, if we want to be able to make clear distinctions. We're a bit obsessed about favoring faster and bigger movements. We think they're better for the body, but if you want to learn how to listen, you have to learn to slow down too. Can you make the rolling of the pelvis forward and back as small as a whisper now? Smaller and faster. Smaller and faster. So now this little rocking forward and back becomes like a vibration. And as your pelvis moves, this minimal movement forward and back, this little shimmy, this little vibration, can you feel what happens to your spine? Can you feel the vibration going up vertebra by vertebra? Listen. Listen to the place between your shoulder blades. Listen to the shape of your neck. And that point where the back of your head touches the ground. Is your head rolling a bit too, forward and back? Can you feel the rocking movement of your pelvis vibrating up your spine and making your head roll? Can you feel the connection? Small and easy. Now, lift your arms overhead and place them somewhere around your head on the floor so that you're framing your head. Somewhere comfortable, where your elbows are soft and bent. And continue now to rock your pelvis forward and back, this small, shimmying, vibrating movement. And listen to it as it travels up your spine. Can you feel now the movement of your neck more clearly? Now that your arms are around framing your head. Your shoulder blades are steadily pressing down on the ground now. And you might be able to feel as if your neck was getting longer and shorter, as if your spine was sliding between your shoulder blades as you rock your pelvis. Can you feel it clearly now, this connection between your pelvis and your head? Can you feel clearly how the position of the pelvis changes the shape of your spine? Bring your hands down. Continue to vibrate with the rolling of your pelvis. Listen and feel now if the rolling of your head is clearer. Now, could you make the movement, the rolling of the pelvis, slower and bigger? bigger and longer and slow enough that you can feel you're controlling the rolling of the head through the rolling of the pelvis, freeing up the rest of the spine. And let the movement go. Quiet down. Take a breath here. Feel the back of your head, the place where your head contacts the ground. And very slowly, in slow motion, start sliding your feet away again, observing the changing shape of your spine. And as you lie here again with legs long, could you visualize your body print? Is your shape clear? Can you feel the shape of your spine, the shape of your pelvis, the place where the back of the head touches the floor? Is it the same as before? Is it different now? There's no right or wrong here. We're not looking for something specific. We're only observing what is. Now, take your beach blanket or your beach towel or your blanket or whatever you have with you and fold it in a relatively thin layer, just a few centimeters. Should probably learn to say that in inches too. Now, put it on the floor so that when you lie back, your towel will be under the right side of your body. So from the spine to the right. So you're lying down and your right hip, your right shoulder blade, your ribs are on the towel, while the left side of your back is still on the floor. The whole right side of your back, from your shoulder to your hip, is standing now in this small step, higher than the left side, which is still on the ground. So as you lie on your back, take a moment here to feel your shape. Naturally, it's different now. Bend your knees and stand your feet. And could you hug yourself, bringing each hand in the opposite shoulder? So you're giving a hug to yourself. God knows we need that in these COVID times. And arms hugging like this. Could you start rolling a bit on the floor to the left and to the right? Simply, easily, just roll your weight. And as you roll now, can you feel the difference of rolling up the little step to the right and rolling down towards the left on the ground? So you're climbing up on your right and you're tumbling back down to the ground on your left. Can you feel the difference in the quality of rolling from one side to the other? Now, come back to center. Take a breath here and just feel your shape. Can you feel your shape? Obviously, one side feels a bit higher than the other, obviously it does not feel symmetrical. But here's where it gets interesting. So now take the towel away. And as you lie down on the floor, you might observe something a bit more interesting. This feeling of asymmetry is still there, although you took the towel away. How does one side feel on the ground? And how does the other side feel? Is there a clear difference between one side and the other? Is one side laying flatter on the floor? Now, let's not leave it like this. Let's try the other side. So you bring your towel under your left side. From your shoulder to your hip, your left side is standing on the towel now. And the right side is on the floor. So again, you bend your knees, you hug yourself, each hand reaching towards the opposite shoulder, and gently roll from side to side, easily and softly, feeling this cylindrical shape of your torso now. Sensing how it is for you this time, climbing up towards the left, tumbling down towards the right. Exploring this new sensation. And come back to center. Take a moment here to feel the way you lie. Hands on the floor, feet long. Sense and observe this new asymmetry. And then take the towel away again. And sense again how your body feels on the floor. And visualize your body print. Can you compare the sensation you had when you first started lying on the floor and how you're feeling your body print now? Is your body spreading more? Are you releasing more of yourself on the floor? Especially after sitting for long hours, we tend to keep a lot of residual tension in our backs. So when you first lie down, although you may think that you're fully letting go, you may not be allowing yourself to completely release your weight on the floor. And this residual tension can stay with you all night. So I find this little awareness practice a great way to release this residual tension. Using a small asymmetry to give you a new perspective on the spaces in your body that have been obscured by habit. Now, as you lie, legs bent or straight, whatever feels comfortable for you, can you start turning your head? Just rolling your head on the floor. And as you do, can you feel if there's a difference from one shoulder to the other? If you can feel the weight of your rolling head from one shoulder blade to the other. And how far down your spine can you feel the whispers of the movement? How far down your back can you feel the movement of your head as the weight shifting from side to side? Maybe in your right and your left ribs. Or even in the right and the left hip. Let your head come back to center. Take a moment to rest your attention. In the Feldenkrais method, one of the reasons we begin by working on the floor is because we're looking to perceive what is our habitual movements and our habitual stance. Because habitual means that we no longer feel it. So when we're on the floor, we allow our muscles to rest and we can pay attention to the details, the smaller differences. What feels tense and what feels softer, what is habitual and what can change. It's what another amazing trainer, Leora Gaster, calls being the master of your state, being able to feel yourself clearly enough to be able to know what is happening so that you are able to change it if it's uncomfortable. So we'll have another 5-minute break, not just for a sip of water, but to let these exercises, these lessons, these awareness lessons sink in. So you're welcome to take a walk, sensing your body, your spine, and your connection from the pelvis to the head. And we'll come back on a chair to bring what we learned on the floor in sitting.